Good morning, this is Sarah, your healthy carnivore in the UK. On day 109? Does that sound right to you? We'll go with 109. I should check this, shouldn't I? I just turn up at school, put my video on and just go with no idea what I'm going to say next. I've got a new best friend called Keith. My new best friend called Keith told me that, let's set the scene. I woke up really emotional this morning. I was already emotional, a little bit down on the world this morning, probably because the constant deliberate grey weather we're having, and a really bad dream, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But then I had woke up to a comment from my best new friend Keith, who told me, who's now calling me out as a liar. So this is the second time someone's called me a liar. It doesn't sit well. It's not nice, especially when you've already woken up feeling a bit down on the world. You need someone to bring you up and say things are going to go really well for you, and what you get is basically you're a liar. The comment, let's pop it up. Let's get it over and done with. Let's get this video started. You are eating carbs. You are, capital letters. Let's make sure they call me a liar properly. You are eating carbs. You're not a fat burner. Okay, well, they're right about one thing. They've made two statements there. They are right about one of those things. I'm not a fat burner. I'm not burning fat for energy. I'm burning fat that I'm eating, but my body still hasn't got the message that it can get it from everywhere else. So he's right. I'm not burning my fat for energy. It's not taking any fat from my body. It's just using the food I'm eating. I'm waiting to do intermittent fasting. I am waiting to do that. But intermittent fasting, I believe, shouldn't be forced. I think it should happen because the appetite has died. If I do intermittent fasting currently in my life, it's going to mean... Anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. But Keith, my friend Keith, he's told me that I am eating carbs. I am eating carbs. Because Keith knows. Keith's got CCTV camera into my house. He knows I'm eating the carbs. Let me retaliate. And somebody clicked like on that comment, by the way. I don't know who clicked like. You don't get to see who clicks like. But I just thought, this other idiot also knows I'm eating carbs. Maybe he's got CCTV in my kitchen watching me trough down all those donuts. All that deep fried birthday cakes going in. No. 109 days. Not a single gram of sugar. Not a single gram of sweetener. Not a single gram of dairy. Not a single bit of seed oil. No fruits. No vegetables. No honey. No carbohydrates at all. No treat food. Not one cheat meal. Not one cheat taste. Not one cheat day. And that is fact. I am waiting. And then somebody else has suggested I do intermittent fasting to lose the weight. But should I be doing that in a school environment where I could be exposed to treat food at any time, and being hungry leaves me vulnerable? I would rather stay doing what I'm doing and not lose weight than crash and burn, end up in the carb ditch, in the shit, in a desperate state. That's worse. I know that I'm going through a few sort of down moments at the moment, but crashing and burning and landing in the carb ditch is worse. So that's not an option. So I am going to get to 365 days, whether this is easy or hard. At the moment, some days are easier than others. Some days a skin tag might fall off and I'm bouncing around going, a skin tag's just fallen off. Yeah, hey. Other days, nothing to report. Still eating my meat, still not losing weight, in the dundrum. Dundrum? Okay, that's not a word, but it's one I just made up. And then my friend Keith said, well, I worked at a calorie deficit and did loads of exercise and the weight just fell off me. Whoopie-doo. So now Keith's suggesting that I do what got me in the shit in the first place. What gets so many women of my age in the shit, excuse the language, is those diets we did back in teenage years and in the 20s, where we were cutting calories and exercising too much. That's what gets us in this mess now. So he's just recommending doing what got me in this metabolic mess in the first place. Eat less, move more. We've all done that. I was a slimming consultant for 3 or 4 years, recommending that. Do you know how many middle-aged women I had at that group who were not losing weight? Because they'd started off in their teens and their 20s and 30s, eating less, moving more. Hormones broken, metabolism broken, everything broken. No idea how to fix themselves. Thank goodness I've acknowledged that I have this problem and I have lots of healing to do. The only downside is I'm now kind of pulling away from all carnivore channels because I'm worried that they're just going to upset me. And that means I'm missing out on some good stuff. So I'm going to have to start thinking about, because every time I hear about someone losing weight quickly, it obviously makes me feel sad, because I don't know how long it's going to be. It's 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years. 3 years is the longest I've heard. And that could be me. And I have to accept that. And so sometimes it's hard, especially when Keith suggests eat less, move more. I'm not going to tell you where I found this comment. I put a comment on a different video and that was the reply. You're probably not going to find it, which is good. But, so I've been called a liar again about 14 months after the last time. It's upsetting, especially when you've just woken up from a dodgy dream. Turns out my worries about not being able to lose weight by a certain amount of time is now coming into my dreams. I woke up quite early this morning and didn't bother trying to go back to sleep. I just thought, I'm not going to go back to that dream again. I'm going to go downstairs and watch something funny on the TV, because I can't go back to my sleep in case that horrible dream starts up again. I was on a plane carrying some wedding dress, and then I ended up in a taxi, and I was telling everyone in the taxi. Turned out it was a joint taxi. I'm late for my wedding day. I'm late. And I don't even know if this dress is going to fit me, because it's one size down than what I was 3 months ago. But there's no guarantee it's going to fit me by the time I get to my wedding. I was quite upset and I was crying in my dream. Then I woke up quite emotional. And then I came down to my comment from Keith, telling me I'm eating carbs. I'm not a fat burner. You're damn right I'm not a fat burner. My body has not worked it out yet. It takes more than 30 days for a lot of people. I'm not going to mention it on any more channels because the responses I get probably won't be to my liking. Because I'm guaranteed to get a comment back that's not helpful 9 times out of 10. So there's absolutely no way I'm going to go onto any other channels and say, well, I'm at day 110, no fat loss yet. Because I put it on another channel and they came back and said, stop eating cheese. They've got CCTV in my house. I haven't eaten any cheese. More's the pity. I might start, because if I'm not going to lose weight anyway, I may as well just go and eat the cheese. There's 2 reasons I gave up cheese at the beginning. One, so that I could get a quick bit of loss to keep me motivated. Because if I give up cheese, I lose about 3 or 4 pounds of bloating. So I thought, let's do that so I can get that little bit of loss to keep me going, right? I know I wouldn't lose any more weight doing that. People that say that cheese stalls you out, I would say, I think that's just inflammation loss when they quit it. Because you give up cheese and you do lose some water weight. And they go, ooh, I've broken my stall. Yeah, give it a couple of weeks. You'll realise that you're still the same. Because it was just inflammation weight in the first place. So I'm thinking I might just bring it back in. I think I'm going to go right back to basics with my friend Dana at Zeroing In on Health. She ate loads of cheese for the first whole entire year. She's now been carnivore for 15, 16, 17, 18 years. Can't remember the exact number, but she said, do whatever it takes. Eat all of the foods. Eat all of the foods. Eat the dairy. eat the coffee, eat the sour cream, eat the pork rinds, do whatever it takes to just get to that first year or two, and then give up those things when you are truly, truly ready. I've called it for years doing it the Dana way. I struggle with the Dana way because I know I don't get any weight loss at all, and nothing, not even a little bit of inflammation loss, and so I don't even get off the starting point. I was thinking back last night about when I was 38 and I very first tried low carb, and I lost 35 pounds in quite a small amount of time. Those days are gone. And I wasn't even that strict then. I was doing some kind of dirty keto and lost 35 pounds really quickly. Yeah, those days are well and truly gone for me. So Keith knows what I'm up to. I wasn't going to do a video today because of this. It was going to stop me. This has turned into a bit of a rant and a shout, hasn't it? But if I don't do the videos, and I don't watch any videos, who have I got supporting me? Because you guys, the ones that do support me, you're the one keeping this going for me. You're the one keeping this going. Because we have got deep fried birthday cake in the house, because I promised my son that the first time he scored a goal for his team, he's never been one for much scoring, so I thought I was going to get away with this. He plays football, but he mostly likes to set other people up. He doesn't have much confidence to go in for the kill. He does setting other people up. And I said to him, if you can score a goal, I'm going to buy you some. Actually, I've already said the word in this video. I might as well say it. I'm going to buy you a donut. He scored at the weekend, didn't he? So we've now got donuts. Later on, I'm going to chuck them in the bin because I'm in such a bad mood that anything could happen. He couldn't be bothered to look for his socks this morning, so I had to go looking for his socks. Then I made eye contact with said deep fried birthday cake and thought, I hate you. You're going in the bin later. Yeah, so this is not a very optimistic video, but it is a bit of a rant. I don't, these people, there are lots and lots and lots of people who've done keto and carnivore who've never heard of the ones that don't lose weight. And so they come in there with their expertise. Back to the intermittent fasting. I'm working in an environment where I don't get to eat when I want. So I like to eat before I leave the house, because even though I think I've put myself in a really safe place, free from temptation, there's always that chance. A couple of weeks ago, we did have a parent thanking us for all the hard work that we do and bringing in some sweet treat for us. It sat on the desk all day. Luckily, I'd had a huge plate of bacon and eggs in the morning and was able to legitimately say, no, I am really, really full. Now, if I'd have decided to skip my breakfast, I would have been hungry, I would have been craving, I would have been feeling weak and vulnerable. And right there, right in front of me, is something that looks incredible. That's a risk I'm not willing to take. I'm not willing to take that risk. So my job is to eat meat like a boss and just take the consequences. And if that means not losing weight, it's better than being in the carb ditch, right? 109 days of being strict still feels better than being in the carb ditch, because that's how desperate being in the carb ditch actually was for me. Really desperate, disappointing, frustrating, upsetting, desperate. Even though the situation I've got at the moment is, I've got my ups and downs, it's still better than being in that mess, giving up. So it's not going to happen. Like I said, I'm going to get to 365 days. But I did think, though, this morning, there is one good thing to come out of this. There is one good thing to come out of all this. And you're probably thinking, how can anything good come out of this moan? I've been a trained comfort eater for 48 years. And this morning, I was in a bad place. I was up early. The opportunity for a cup of tea and something to dip in it If you live in the UK and you've lived in the UK a long time, you'll know the British obsession with drinking tea and dipping biscuits in it. I used to be that obsessed person with that. It took me a long time to break that habit of make a cup of tea, get the biscuits out. My granddad started that. You know who you are, granddad. Right from a really young age, I used to sleep around my grandparents' house. Lovely time, amazing people. But right from first in the morning, the sugar was coming. Cups of tea, biscuits in there. And you know what? I didn't do it. I didn't go looking for that sort of thing, even though it is in the house. I feel jealous of the people that have been able to clear their house out entirely, because we still have one carb eater in the house, and he knows about carnivore. He's going to be carnivore one day. He already said that he's probably going to get started when he's 16. So, you know, we all know about it, and we all know what the right thing to do is in our house, but we let the little one have some treats. And they're in the house, and I had to ride that out. I felt miserable this morning. I really woke up after that horrible dream. Emotional, miserable. Then my friend Keith piped up. So that made me even more miserable. I wasn't going to do a video today or for the rest of the week. I was going to put a note in the community section. No videos this week. In a bad mood. I'll come back to you when I'm ready. And then I talked myself out of it, and I didn't comfort eat. So if nothing else, I have started to retrain those wires in my brain that lead me to comfort eating, because that would have been so easy to do. Cancelling my whole channel and just going into a carb ditch would have been that easy to do this morning, and I didn't do it. So I've come to talk to my carnivore family instead, and hope they've got words of wisdom. Though apparently all I need to do is eat less, move more, and intermittently fast, and the weight could start falling off. And yes, it might do, but it leaves me vulnerable. Quite often when you get these comments, they're from people who are not living in the same life situation that you are, and don't get that you might be in a situation where those things leave you vulnerable to quitting. And I don't want to be left vulnerable to quit. I'd actually rather stay the same weight for the next 2 years than end up in the carb ditch. And that's powerful. And I'm glad I just said that, because I mean it. This isn't a happy channel all the time. I know that. I'm not one of those fake happy channels. I've had bacon and eggs this morning. But yeah. If you're following my channel, don't throw me negativity. It's not needed. If you want to throw your negativity, go and give it to someone who's a fake one of these fake happy ones that can probably take it and are probably earning a lot of money. I don't earn any money from this. I'm just some woman in the UK who's just trying to sort her shit out, and so she can help others. And throwing negativity at me and negative comments, it doesn't help, does it? Because I'm going to keep doing this 365 no matter what happens. And so negativity is just going to make things harder for me. My eldest son has agreed to give up the scales. He's not weighing that much, but he's doing keto, and at some point he'd probably want to weigh himself, and he's agreed that it's important that I get rid of the scales. He's heard about my liar comment this morning, and he's concerned about mummy. So the scales are going up in the loft at the next opportunity, the next day or two. There will be no more weighing. Which is weird. But you know what's weird? When I was getting dressed this morning in front of the mirror, always fun, I felt as if the area under at the top half of my tummy looked different this morning. I feel like I'm getting some definition. I'm hoping that I'm just putting on a ton of muscle right now and a ton of bone density. That's what Kerry from Homestead House said in relation to my comment. He said, you're probably putting on some bone density and muscle mass. Keep going. Good comment. Good comment. Mitch from Old Guy Carnivore, he said, get your insulin checked. You could have high insulin. I don't even know how you get that checked. How do you get that checked in the UK? Is that even a thing you can get checked in the UK? I don't know. But he said, failing that, just keep going. Don't give up. Right. Good. But I am going to stop putting that comment on other channels that could lead me into replies that are not helpful, because the chances of getting an unhelpful reply is really high. And those unhelpful replies just give me the hump. Well, I wasn't going to do a video today, and now I've ranted on for 20 minutes. I feel better for the talk because I've had some epiphanies while I was doing it. I genuinely would rather do this for 2 years with no weight loss than be in the ditch. That's the epiphany today. Whether I bring back cheese or not, I don't know. Because it's obviously not stalling me out, is it? You're not having it. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to wake up after a happy dream and try and tell you something funny. I think tomorrow's day 110. I think that might call for a song. We might do some singing tomorrow and some clapping, like that. If you get some sun, go and enjoy it. If you got some meat, go and eat it, and do whatever it takes for you to be healthy and happy. And remember, doing your best looks different every day. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye.